Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to day 9. Day 9 of 25. Excuse me, I need to drink some tea because I've been outside playing with the van, so really hot. Apologies. Day 9 of 25. Raising awareness of mental health and mental health issues. And today I want to talk about goals and goal setting. And after yesterday's little presentation, I obviously looked at the feedback and then looked at the actual video, and the bits of paper that I put up were all backwards, so you couldn't read what I was saying. So we've come up with a solution to do the goal setting, because obviously I need to show you the written stuff that I've done. So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about the goal setting process today. We're going to then set up a Zoom meeting for those people that actually want to be walk and talk through the process. And then we'll set a link up and probably do it sometime tomorrow evening after tomorrow's Facebook Live. And that way we can then show you pretty much, because I can write on the screen and I can upload documents and pictures and things, and we can walk through that process. So today I'm going to talk to you about the goal setting process. I'm going to talk to you about reasons why we need to set why do we need to set goals. Okay. The context again is the fact that I've in the past spent a lot of time working with network marketing businesses, personal development trainers, been involved in large network marketing businesses, and been successful at some of them and unsuccessful at other stuff. But the stuff that I've learned has allowed me to be where I am today. And I think that personally I feel very successful, not necessarily financially, because success is not just about finances. However, you gauge your level of success for you, your lifestyle. Okay, so what I want to talk about is why we set goals. What are goals? What are goals in relation to our lifestyle, our who we are? Okay, and I want to differentiate, because goals are not necessarily a never-ending thing. Goals are simply points along a pathway. And I want to make the distinction here with some goals can run out, some goals can be achieved quite quickly. And what you can then do is lose focus on your life purpose. So life purpose is your overarching reason of why you're here. Goals are those things that you set infrequently, frequently, intermittently, or not at all sometimes, to get you along the path of where you want to go. But your life purpose is this never-ending thing that you follow. So we're going to look at how we set goals at the moment. So, and again, what I want to sort of just say is these were successful for me. This was my way. And there was 2 or 3 different ways that I started with goals. There was 2 or 3 things that I used to do. But again, everything I say is from my context. If you want to delve into this stuff, there is loads of stuff out there. There's loads of books and courses, trainings you can do on goal setting, finding your life purpose, finding meaning, etc. And we can delve into that in the future. But today is just about how the process we go goal setting. So the way I would start. So I would normally start at the end of the year. So I would start, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I would sit down and I would get out a large A4 book, hardback book, well, not hardback book, but a softback book like this. This one used to come from Wilkinson's, 4 or 5 quid, etc. You can get really expensive ones, if you're that way inclined, leather backed, etc. Or just a simple exercise book would do. And what I would do, I would sit down and make sure that I've got plenty of time. Okay, you are worth the time and effort that you need to invest into your life. So this is you creating time and space for you to do your stuff. Okay, and what I would do is I would section out maybe half a day or even the whole day on New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, and get the book out, and I would write on the first page. I would write, okay, everything, and I would sit for maybe a good hour. I would sit and write a list of things, and I would number them, that were significant in my life. Okay, or I had an interest in, or I wanted to do something with. So I'm just going to run down my list to start with to give you some idea of some of the things, and I'm just going to give you the headings. Okay, so personal fitness, health, nutrition, spiritual growth, training, martial arts, outdoor skills training, finance, books, world ventures, personal development, blog, website, social media, climbing, cadets, family, relationship, partnership, location, house, travel, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so there was probably 40, 45 things there that had an influence in my life at that point, and that one was from 2014. Okay, 2014. Okay, so then after I'd done that, have a cup of tea, relax, whatever, and then each subject that I'd written, I would then take the next page. So the first page after that full list, number one, I would write whatever the number was on that list, all the way through. So each one of those subjects would get a full page, a double page, to itself. Okay, and I would then, once I'd written all that through, I'd then go through and then start writing anything to do with that subject. So for argument's sake, personal fitness, maybe I would suggest that I wanted to run a marathon, want to go to the gym 4 times a day, haven't found a way to do this certain exercise, etc. And I would then write down everything that I had in it, whether I had stuff existing, perfect goals, etc. Limitations maybe as well, so timings. Okay, and then I would go through that whole list, and every single subject on there would get something written on there, or wouldn't. Remarkably, wouldn't get something written on it. Okay, so then we've got all of these pages with something written on there, and then we start to then go through and see what is significant, see what is the pages that are full of writing. So if we spend a lot of time writing about a certain something, it's quite important to us. So then we think, okay, well, let's delve into this subject a little bit further. What is there on here that is of importance to me? Okay, so you start to then delve into that one subject. For argument's sake, let's get one here. Yeah, so say books. Okay, so we go to section 9. Yeah, and we read all about books. So then we say, okay, so I've got a list of books here that I've read, and there's a list of books here that I want to read. Okay, so then you start to then look at, okay, what is it I want to do with books? So do I want to commit to be reading these books over a period of time, or is there certain books that I'm missing, etc.? Okay, do I want to write a book? Do I want to commit to putting something on paper? Do I then want to think about how I'm going to write a book? When am I going to write a book? So all those things start to peel off. So let's just stick with that subject, so books. So then we could say, okay, right, so what I want to do this year is really commit to reading every day. Every day. Every day I want to read for 10 pages of a book every day. So I'm going to commit to that. So then you start to think, okay, right, so how can I write a goal around reading a book every day, reading 10 pages every day? So we then come to, I get a separate book for my goals, yeah, a little A5 book. And again, from Wilkinson's, feels like leather, but it's not, it's about £3 or £4, okay? And what we do is we then split up our goals, and we have one goal for one page, okay? And there's other stuff in there, you know, daily reading, affirmations, stuff about why you want to have goals, review them, etc. So split the page into three sections, 3 parts. Okay, and the first part, top of the page, it says goals and deadlines. Okay, so this is where we make the commitment to the goal. So the goal that we've got is to read 10 pages every day of a book. Okay, not the same book, okay, because that'd be quite boring. But so just 10 pages a day, commit to at least 10 pages a day. So, and then we say we have to write this goal so that it's already happened, because what we don't want to be doing is writing in the future something that may or may not happen, because we're committing something to paper as a goal that needs to be in existence. And I'll explain what that means. If we say end of this year, okay, I am going to be this, that, and the other, we're projecting that into the future, and that is just basically a wish, okay? Writing a goal with significance means that we're accepting that it's going to happen. So we write it as if it's already happened. And that might sound a bit weird to you, but we write it in a way so that you've got some emotion around it. It is a significant date, it's a fixed date, and you know that it's going to happen. Okay, so you write it in a way that you say, so by the end of, this is now the 31st of December 2020, and I am so happy and grateful that I have read 10 pages of a book every day. Thank you. And then you could write how many pages that adds up to during the year, yeah, to give you the total. Second part of your page, because you separate it into 3, purpose of achieving this goal. So what is the purpose? What is the reason? What is the burning thing that you need to force you, if you don't want to force you to do this goal? So we would expect that if we'd read 10 pages a day, every day for a year, we've read quite a lot of books. With reading quite a lot of books, do you think we'll have changed, gained some knowledge? Gained some knowledge, we might change some attitudes and beliefs, and particularly what type of books we read. Maybe on personal development, maybe on motivation, maybe on life stories of people that have achieved great things. So do you think that would have achieved some positive changes for us? Yes. Okay. So purpose of achieving this goal, so that in the next year, I am going to invest heavily in myself. I'm going to pursue a better lifestyle. I'm going to create financial freedom for myself because I'm going to be investing in myself, and I'm going to live a better life. Fantastic. So that's your second part of the goal. So you've written the goal, what it is going to be, when it's going to be. Now you're going to say why, your burning reason why. Third part, the bottom part, is the action plan. So it says there, action plan. So then you list at least five actions you are going to take to achieve that goal. So first thing you need to do is get some books. So maybe, first one, order some books from Amazon. 2, research good books from Amazon. 3, have the bookmarks and the books ready. Okay. 4, create space in your diary. Yeah, so that you've got a reading time. 5, tell my significant other that from 5 o'clock until 5:30 every evening, I'm not to be disturbed, please, unless the house is burning down, because I'm going to be reading my 10 pages of my book. Okay? So that's how we create a list of subjects to address some of the things that we want to do in our life. That's how we create a goal book. And then by doing that process, why are we creating this process of setting goals? What's that got to do with mental health? Well, if we're just following on in our life, getting along with it, just bumping along, and there's no real purpose, there's no real focus on growth within our life, then our life becomes a little bit of a treadmill. Our life becomes a bit of a hamster wheel process. And I'm not just thinking about going on holiday and doing great things like that. But that can be part and parcel of your goal book. You can be focused on achieving certain things so that you have a certain lifestyle, going certain places. What I'm trying to get to is the fact that you are creating space in your life for growth by focusing on creating goals, creating situations where you are moving forward, you are creating a positive feeling around certain things. You're then moving forward. So we can either sit still, okay, or we can move around. And metaphorically, creating goals creates movement. It creates space. And that movement creates positivity, positive energy. Now, are all goals going to turn out? No. Are you going to be successful at all of this? No. And as we suggested yesterday, just because you decided that something's going to happen, you've started making things happen, doesn't mean to say that that thing is not going to fail. Okay? But what you've done is you've moved from where you were towards changing who you are, what you do, and where you're going by focusing on creating these goals. So what you're trying to do is create space, create energy, create movement in your life so that things aren't just stagnant, staying the same. Now, this is not just throwing things away. This is not just changing your whole lifestyle. This is incremental change. This is focusing on growth. Okay? And when we look at setting goals, it's not just a one-off thing. So once we've got our goals and our goal book, what do we do with it? We've written it. Yeah, fantastic. Great. What do we do? What do we do with that? Okay. So on a daily basis, we create some space. So we've got our 10 pages of book to read. We might have some certain other things to do with our processes, with our lifestyle. We might have committed to do some exercise. We might commit to do some yoga. Part of that is focusing on our goals on a daily basis. So our goal book might have some words of wisdom. It might have some affirmations in there. It might have some positive self-talk. It might have some things in there that you've picked up from other trainings that are very useful, things that resonate with you. So every day, you set out to focus on your goals, read your goals, agree with your goals, and focusing on what you then need to do, completing your actions, becoming a habit. Okay, now then, what happens if that goal book suddenly becomes a little bit irrelevant? Well, it's not set in stone. It's yours. You do as you will with it. But if you commit to a goal-setting process, there must have been a reason why you committed to that goal-setting process. There must be a focus for you. There must be a need for you to focus on this goal to change the future. So why would you give up on it? Well, you might give up on it because suddenly it becomes not part of your life. There's nothing wrong with either rewriting a goal, but don't just throw the goal book away. Okay? Even now, I come back to my goal books and review them, look at them, learn things from the stuff in there, read some of the old trainings that I've done, read some of the commitments that I've made, and reflect on this. Okay, so this is the beginning of the year. This is our New Year's Day, New Year's resolution, etc. Okay, so what we should do is we should read this every day. Okay, commit to our goals, adjust the goals, write new ones, rub out ones that we achieve, etc. Once a month, we should spend some time reflecting on our progress. And if we are sometimes overstretched, then there's nothing wrong with, holding on to a goal. So we hold that goal so that we've got space and time to create something else for the new goals. Okay. We normally overcommit, yeah, and underdeliver. That's just a human thing, yeah. We promise ourselves lots of things and achieve very little. What this does is gives us focus of where we want to be. And again, going back to the reasons why we wrote those things in the book, the significance of those things. They must be significant to make the book. They must be very significant to make the goal book because you've written lots of stuff about them. So it's a process of pulling that information out from you, what's important to you. And again, this is what's important to you, not necessarily what's important to your family situation, your boss, your kids, you, your goals, you personally. They might involve doing things. They might involve some whys because of your family. You might be focused on creating more financial stability for your family. Why? Because your partner's giving up work in 10 years' time and you want to then create more income to replace that income. You want to fund your children go to university, etc., etc. So nothing wrong with that, okay? But there's got to be a better why than just making money, okay? We normally achieve greater in 5 years than we expect, but less in 1 year. So we always think we can achieve a whole lot more, but it takes normally longer than a year at least, maybe 1 or 2 years to actually achieve some of this stuff. So we will achieve something, and some of these things you may set yourself up to do, and they achieve very quickly. Some things you may drop because they become unachievable. Okay. And I'll just mention again, we will be focusing step by step on the goal process. Again, from yesterday, I can't actually show you the paperwork the right way around. It was all backwards, as you can see from the sign there. And the way that we're going to do it, I'm going to do it off the computer as a Zoom meeting. I will be sending out a meeting access for those people that want it. I will post it on the Facebook tomorrow. Okay, once we set up the Zoom meeting, it will be a goal setting workshop, and probably tomorrow evening sometime, maybe about 8 o'clock, so people have got time to do other things, get things out of the way and commit some time and effort. It'll be there. If you're in my friends list, not a problem, just log in. I will put that in there. If you're not on my friends list, just at least send me a personal message saying why you want to be in there, etc., where you got the link from. Not an issue with that. I just want to make sure that we don't get hacked and people come in there that don't want to be there, etc. So just want to make sure that we get the right people in there. So goal setting workshop tomorrow night from about 8 o'clock. I'll commit all the details tomorrow after tomorrow's meeting. But that's the basics of setting goals. That's the reasons why we set goals. That's the purpose of goal setting as such. And again, I want to stress, this is not just achieve some goals. Okay, now what do I do? This is a process where we commit to looking at things that are important to us and making changes in our life. And again, if it's something could be quite significant about creating a business in the next 10 years. Okay, so there's lots of information out there about goal setting. This is one way that I've done it. And again, for me, the process of setting goals means that you are focused on creating a more positive outlook for yourself. So particularly with mental health, where people feel stagnant, where people feel they have no future, they have lost momentum, clicking their heels, just bored, no focus, bored with their job, bored with their life, creating just day in, day out boredom. Creating goals, okay, can be a way to keep you feeling positive. And there's a whole lot of other technology behind it, and there's a whole lot of other stuff you can do. You can do bucket lists and have a 100-part list that you can go and set up a 5, 1, 10, 20-year plan. Okay, we're not talking about that in depth at the moment, but we can do maybe in the future if there's a call for that. This is just basically having a focus on how to focus on things that you find significant and want to create some change. And particularly if you've been doing some of the exercises that I've asked over the week, looking at our self-talk, looking at maybe some of the things that we wrote down on our story. If you wrote down what your story was on Wednesday after listening to my story, some of the things there that you're thinking, okay, well, I need to sort of replace some of those things because they're going to finish soon, etc. This might be a way for you to sort of get some purpose back in your life. Okay, so any issues, just message me as normal. Thanks very much for the good messages. Just before I go, I mentioned that I would talk about some of the books that I've read with purpose and significance. I didn't do one yesterday, so I apologise. I was far too excited about showing my pyramid shape stuff there backwards, and that didn't work out too well. So I talked about games people play with Eric Byrne the other day. This book, this is it's obviously a reprint, so you can't see it because it's in black and white there. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. An absolute classic, particularly for home business people building network marketing businesses, etc., or entrepreneurs, etc. Quick synopsis: Napoleon Hill wrote this after doing almost 20 years research in the 1920s, 1930s, after having a conversation with Dale Carnegie, I think at the time, set him the challenge of writing a book about what makes you successful. And I think he spoke to probably about 200 successful people in America, and then looked at the traits and the skills that those people had, and then committed them to paper. And it's a classic book, written quite sort of old-fashioned English, American as well. But it's an absolute classic book, and it wasn't until I read it the second time. Again, later on, I'd sort of read some more books, read this a second time, that some of it actually made sense. So sometimes we have to dip in and dip out of books. That's another classic book for me. So list of books will be coming up soon. Tomorrow we will be starting to talk this week about some of the nitty-gritty stuff. So tomorrow I'm going to attempt to discuss depression, okay, and what it means. So we're going to be talking depression tomorrow. So if you have any sort of personal experience of depression, etc., and feel it'd be useful for you, please chip in. But likewise, if you find it's going to be a bit gnarly, you're not committing to anything. But let's discuss depression. Again, the reason why I'm talking about this stuff is I was invited to do 25-25, and the normal stuff is you do 25 press-ups or 25 physical challenges, etc., for 25 days to raise awareness about mental health. And I just wanted to try and do something different, and we're encouraged to talk about mental health. We're encouraged to talk to people if we've got an issue. Well, okay, this is me talking. This is me talking to you about mental health issues. Maybe from some context, it's about me showing how I've managed to overcome some of my mental health issues in the past, becoming more positive, becoming involved in personal development, focusing on creating goals and having a purpose, particularly after losing purpose at times. So that's the reason behind this, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and this is why I'm committing time and effort to do this stuff. And I think that myself personally, I'm getting a lot out of these Facebook Lives, because it's making me focus for daily events over the lockdown, because we're still locked down in Wales at the moment. It's also given me an opportunity to review some of the personal development stuff that I do. Maybe add to some of the stuff that I'm doing at the moment to help my own mental health, and also maybe focusing on what's going to happen for the future, because the future is uncertain at the moment, and particularly where people are working in the industry that I am, in the outdoors and first aid training, etc. It's going to be quite a challenge to get started. So maybe I'm thinking about other stuff as well. Okay, so any comments, please put them on the thread there. We'll be talking about depression tomorrow. So again, I will be making a very, very widespread publicity that it is depression that I'm going to be talking about. So if people want to skip it, they can. But if you want me to raise anything anonymously, send me a private message, and I can use an analogy or a story about something that's good or bad about depression. And we'll try and debunk, I think, some of the, should we firmly, the not firmly held ideas, but the ideas that we have about depression and what it is, how to treat depression, how to do anything around depression. So we'll be talking about depression tomorrow, and I'll be setting up that Zoom meeting to do with the goal setting workshop tomorrow evening. Okay, so enjoy your Sunday evening and see you tomorrow.